Hi, I'm Michael Dalamatha, and in this lesson, we're going to cover OSKAR, a simple coaching framework for Scrum Masters. One of the greatest challenges that a Scrum Master has is to stay in the coaching mindset and skill set. One thing that often happens to Scrum Masters is that they fall into the habit of consulting or mentoring or training. And while those may be valuable, they're not coaching. OSKAR increases your ability in those coaching conversations and increases your confidence because you know that if you're following OSKAR, you are coaching and not mentoring or training or lecturing or advising. And of course, that supports your clients. You see your clients as creative, resourceful, and whole. You're not trying to fix them. And by holding them in that light, they grow. OSKAR is a set of 5 steps, starting with the objective, then scale, then know-how, then affirmation and action, and finally, review. So we're going to go through each of these 5 steps, and I'll be showing you a demo along the way. Let's get started. The first step is the objective. You always want to start a coaching conversation by understanding what the coachee's objective is for that conversation. Not their overall goals, not what they think about third-party behaviors, but what they want to do in that coaching session. A simple question to ask here is, what is the objective of this coaching? Or what is the perfect future? So let's look now at an example of understanding the coachee's objective.
Lucia, what are we trying to do in this coaching session?
I would like to figure out what's my next step in my career.
Scale is the second step. Scale means that we're going to ask the coachee how close they are to achieving their objective. A simple question to ask here is, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being your perfect future, where are you today? Or how will you know that you have made a small improvement? Let's now look at an example of asking the scale question in an OSKAR conversation.
So on a scale of 0 to 10, where 10 is that perfect future that you've just described, where are you now?
Maybe a 6.
You're at a 6.
The third step is know-how. We want to encourage the coachee to examine everything that they have done, all of the resources that they have, in order to appreciate that they have the ability to make progress towards their objective. We want to make sure that the coachee sees themselves in the best light possible and that they don't feel helpless or hopeless. So we might ask, what helps you perform at N instead of 0? If the coachee said, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at a 6, we would ask, what helps you perform at 6 instead of 0? Another question we could ask here is, what would other people say you are doing well? To encourage people to voice the appreciation that they have received. So now let's look at an example of coaching know-how.
And what have you done to get to a 6?
I've followed my passion.
You followed your passion. What else have you done?
I've studied a lot. I've participated to the community. I've practiced. I've had a mentor. That's it.
The next step in OSKAR is affirm and action. We want to affirm that the coachee has the ability to achieve the objective. And then we want to ask, what is the next action he will take? Here's a question or comment that can be made about affirmation. The coach can say to the coachee, your superpower is. Your superpower is that you listen to people carefully. Your superpower is that you're able to execute on a to-do list. Another example is, I see you taking advantage of, and then rephrasing in the client's own words what they said about their know-how. An example of an action question is, how do you get from n to n plus 1? Today you're at 6. What can you do to get to 7? Another question is, what small step can you execute today? So let's take now a look at a coaching example of affirm and action.
And so what is the next small step that you think you can take, drawing on all of your resources and where you are now, to go from a 6 to a 7?
Continue to follow my passion.
Okay. You've identified the passion as the key. Can you say more about that?
I'm a very motivated person, so if I don't do what I like and what I enjoy, I'm not alive.
And the final step is review. What are you able to do now? What we want is the coachee to summarize what they have gotten out of the coaching session and what they plan to do next. So they take this home in a neatly wrapped package that they fully understand. What do you think will change next is another great question to ask in the final step, which is the review step. Let's take an example at coaching the OSKAR way.
So let's wrap up. Can you just summarize what this experience has been like and what you've gotten out of this coaching?
Passion drives me and it's key to my motivation.
Mm-hmm.
So finally, I want to conclude with a Scrum Master holds the coachee as creative, resourceful, and whole. So this is very different from the consulting mindset or the training mindset or the mentoring mindset. As a coach, the Scrum Master fully believes that the coachee has the ability to solve their own problems. So coaching is not lecturing, training, or problem solving. And the OSKAR framework is a 5-step coaching framework that helps you as a Scrum Master to stay in the coaching mindset. Now it's your turn. Find a partner and practice OSKAR.